Hi, I'm Peter Block, and my three words are art, prophecy, and narrative. And the context for these words is, I think the project for us all is kind of to restore humanity. In a modern empire-based patriarchal world, our humanity is what gets extracted from us. And so art makes sense to me, and I don't mean art as a audience, I mean art as a producer. That the technology kind of takes our senses away, and art restores my senses. It brings me back to my senses, so that I find I do have a voice. I can sing. I can have hands. I can draw something. I have eyes to see something. I have a body that can move. I've just forgotten I have those things. I thought my legs were not for transportation, but for something else. So, also art, you don't know how to defend against art, which means it touches us in ways. And so I just think the more we make it mainstream and central rather than interesting and peripheral, the more transformation is likely. The second is prophecy. I think there's a tendency to protest, to reform. To me, prophecy is to give voice to an alternative future. And I think our work in coming together and work conferences like this is to give that voice, which is different than arguing against what's not working. And so the prophets in the Old Testament, they kind of used poetry and their voice to say there's another world, there is a wilderness that we can leave the confines of slavery, of Pharaoh's Egypt, if you look at that storyline. And so I think, even though it's a little embarrassing, if I think of myself like I don't think I'm a prophet, but I do think prophecy is a function for us. And then the third one is narrative. To me, I love the notion that in every word is a world. And so if I live in a community, it's defined as much by the story that it tells itself. If I live in my own skin, which I do, I'm defined by the story, the narrative I have. And for most of my life, my narrative didn't explain anything. It was just kind of a story. And so the idea, if I want to create an alternative future, is that I need to find an alternative narrative. And the essence of the alternative narrative is to say, instead of talking about what's wrong and what's missing, we talk about what's possible. We talk about our gifts. We delabel people. We ask people what your passions are. I want a story that I can produce and something that I can create something. And so I think these kind of three things are woven in any notion I have of transformation, especially communal transformation, which is why we come together. And come to the workshop. You're going to love it.